Hi everybody, this is Indira from Institute of Aeronautical Engineering, Assistant Professor of Department of Mathematics. Today I would like to tell you how to solve the double integrals using change of variable. These methods are used when the double integral becomes very complicated. There is a flexibility in double integrals to change from one field to another field. Suppose the question is given in the Cartesian form, then we can do it easily by converting it to polar form. And if the question is becomes very complicated, if it is given in the polar form, then we can change it to the Cartesian form and solve it easily. So therefore, we use this change of variables. Even the change of order of integration, which we have discussed in the last class, also the tools to solve the double integrals whenever the question becomes very complicated and we can't do the problem very easily, then we can convert it to our convenient field. Here we are going to discuss two different types of fields, that is changing from Cartesian to polar coordinates and polar to Cartesian coordinates. Whenever you change a function from Cartesian to polar or polar to Cartesian, you have to multiply the function with Jacobian transformation, the J value. What I mean to say that, if suppose given question is double integral of f of x comma y dx dy, this is in Cartesian form, and I want to do the problem by converting it to polar form over the field R. Then what I have to do? I have to convert it to f of r comma theta into the j value into r. I mean, r is nothing but the j value, which I am going to get it. I'll tell you how we'll get that j value into dr into d theta. And this j is nothing but the Jacobian value. So we have to multiply the function with Jacobian value and convert the functions easily, where x is equal to r cos theta and y is equal to r sin theta. So if you maintain these values, then the Cartesian question is converted to polar form. There, the polar form, you have to find out the limits. So by looking at the limits given in the Cartesian form, we can guess, we can give the values of r and theta in the polar form. Once the limits of the function over the region is given, then you can start integrating. This is how the problem is done. This is nothing but the method of changing the variables, and this method is done to solve double integrals. Now here, the variables x and y in f of x comma y dx dy are changed to u and v, where u and v is some other coordinate system. Here I have given an example of polar coordinate system, and suppose if the function is converted to some other coordinate systems like u and v, the same method is followed here. Okay, with the help of the relations x is equal to f of u comma v and y of f of u comma v. And here one thing you have to know, we have to know the relationship between the old coordinates and the new coordinates. Then only the transformation is possible. Otherwise, it is not possible. You all know that the Cartesian and polar are related to x is equal to r cos theta and y is equal to r sin theta. So conveniently, wherever x is there, I can substitute r cos theta, and wherever y is there, I can substitute r sin theta. So dx dy is equal to minus dr cos theta d theta, and so on and so forth. You can substitute like that. So this change is possible if and only if the relationship between the old and the new coordinates are known. Okay, and you have to remember this formula. The function into dx dy is equal to the converted function into the Jacobian value into dr d theta. Now let's go further. Where r is a region in the UV plane and corresponding to the r in the xy plane, changing from Cartesian to polar coordinates. When the question is given in x comma y, that is a Cartesian coordinates, then you have to convert it to polar coordinates. Now, the relationship between the Cartesian and the polar coordinates are x is equal to r cos theta and y is equal to r sin theta. Now, dou of x comma y by dou of r comma theta, which we call it as a Jacobian value. This is nothing but the Jacobian value. Okay, Jacobian value. It is given by dou of r comma x comma y. These are the old coordinates and the denominator are the new coordinates to which we are going to convert it, and is equal to determinant of dou x by dou r into dou x by dou theta and dou x by dou y by dou r into dou y by dou theta. If x is equal to r cos theta, then dou x by dou r is nothing but cos theta. Okay, and if x is equal to r cos theta, dou x by dou r is equal to, dou x by dou theta is equal to minus r sin theta. That's what we have wrote it here. Similarly, dou y by dou r, dou y by differentiating y with respect to r, that is sin theta, and differentiating y with respect to with respect to theta, we'll get r cos theta. Taking the matrix determinant, we'll get it as r into cos square theta plus sin square theta, and which is equal to r into 1, which is equal to r. Therefore, the old coordinate system can be converted easily into the new coordinate system by writing it f of r cos theta comma r sin theta into r into dr into d theta. So this is how we have to convert to the polar coordinates. Now, in polar form, dx dy is replaced by r into dr d theta. From where we have got this r? R is nothing but the Jacobian value, which the term with the number which has to be replaced in order to compensate with dx dy. Okay, now I'll take with one example. Evaluate the integral by changing to polar coordinates. Integral 0 to infinity e power minus x square plus y square dx dy. Now you can see that the given question is in the Cartesian form. Now we have to convert it to polar form. So whenever you are converting it to the another form, we have to give the relationship. If it is unknown field that we are going to find out, then in the question itself he has to give the relationship. As a polar and the polar and the Cartesians are very familiar fields for us. So even though the relationship between the polar and Cartesian are not given, we can write it from the previous knowledge, that is x is equal to r cos theta and x is equal to r sin theta, right? So putting wherever x is there, we have to put it as r cos theta, and y is there r sin theta, and dx dy is equal to r dr d theta. So the given question can be easily converted to this. The limits I'll tell you how to change it, and before that a functional value how it changes. It's nothing but e to the power of minus r square, because x square plus y square is equal to r square cos square theta plus r square sin square theta, and which is equal to r square. E power minus r square r into dr into d theta. R raises from 0 to infinity and theta raises from 0 to pi by 2. How I got this value? Now, what I has given the limits, what are the limits from x and y? The limits are given from 0 and it tends to infinity, and 0 to plus infinity. You can see it here, whatever the values that is given, both are same, so I can specify one with x, one with y, and both are hailing from the positive quadrant, so they are in the positive quadrant. In the positive quadrant, if you replace this with the angle, then this theta will be equal to pi by 2, that is 90 degrees. So it raises from 0 to theta raises from 0 to pi by 2. So I got it like this, right? And suppose if you draw a magnitude here, starting from the pole point, r raises from 0 to infinity. So therefore r raises from 0 to infinity. So from the old coordinates itself, you can give how the new coordinates will be. Once again, I'll tell whatever the limits he has given in the question, they lie in the first quadrant. In the first quadrant, the theta value changes from theta is equal to 0 to pi by 2. So that is what he has given, that theta raises from 0 to pi by 2 and r raises from 0 to infinity. How I got it? The pole point, the radial vector which is starting from the pole tends to infinity, because we don't have any bounded region here, so tends to infinity. So r raises from 0 to infinity is a new limits that I have gone. Now I'll start integrating. this I will start integrating the with the given values. Integral 0 to infinity, e power minus x square plus y square dx dy is equal to theta is equal to 0 to pi by 2, t is equal to 0. From where I got it, I'm just using the substitution method of finding out the what is this thing. I've got e power minus r square into dr deta. So assuming that r square is equal to t, differentiating both sides, 2r into dr is equal to dt, and r dr is equal to dt by 2. So when now I have to change the limit r, because I have no more doing the problem in r, I've converted to t. So I should know the t values also. Whenever r is equal to 0, t will be equal to 0, because t and r directly related, and when r is equal to infinity, t is equal to infinity. Substituting all this, I got it as 1 by 2 e power minus t dt into d theta. And integral of e power minus t is nothing but e power minus t by minus 1, and from 0 to infinity. So e power, and it comes to be e power minus infinity minus e power minus 0, and e power minus infinity is nothing but 0, and this e power 0 is nothing but 1. So I got it as 1 minus 0 minus 1 and half into theta. And how I got it? Because minus 1 minus into minus plus 1 plus half into theta. How I got integral of d theta? Integral of d theta is theta. So the limits raises from 0 to pi by 2, half into pi by 2, which is nothing but pi by 4. So therefore, integral of 0 to infinity e power minus of x square plus y square can be into dx into dy is just nothing but pi by 4. So this is how the problem can be done very easily by converting it to polar form. Now let's go for the next equation. Evaluate the integral by changing to polar coordinates. Integral 0 to a, integral 0 to under root of a square minus y square, x square plus y square into dx dy. Now the limits for x are x is equal to 0 to x is equal to under root of a square minus y square. How I could able to guess that these limits are for x? Because we can see only two variables here, x and y, and the limits are in terms of y. Definitely they will be, they are the values of the other variable, that is x. So that I could able to guess that these values are for x and these values are for y. Okay, so x raises from 0 to x is equal to root of a square minus y square. So everything, it cannot be given in the question. Everything will be hidden in the question. So we have to guess to what variable the limits are given, how to proceed. And here you can, looking at the question itself, you can say that one limits are variable limits and another limits are constant limits. So when these variable limits are given, we have to guess it properly to what variable they are. As we have only two variables, the guessing becomes very easy. So here, squaring on both sides, what you are going to get, x square plus x square. Squaring on both sides, we are going to get it as x square plus y square is equal to a square. The given region is in the first quadrant of the circle. By changing to polar coordinates, x is equal to r cos theta, x is equal and y is equal to r sin theta, dx dy is equal to r into dr d theta. So wherever you have these values, you can convert, you can write it as this is a r square and this is nothing but dr into d theta. And how the limits changes from, as it is a circle. Okay, what are the now it's a time to guess the limits. Now he has given a circle with a radius a. Okay, so radius a, and he has given, and y is equal to a, y is equal to a is nothing but somewhere over here. So it lies in the first quadrant. So here what he is referring, he is referring the first quadrant values. So here theta raises from 0 to pi by 2. Okay, theta raises from 0 to pi by 2, r raises from 0 to, because you have r value r from 0 to the point r is equal to a. So the radius becomes the radial vector, this r value, and that is what the limits he has given. So theta raises from 0 to pi by 2 and r raises from 0 to a, r square into r. From where I got this r square? Because I have replaced x square plus y square is equal to r square, and dx dy is equal to r into dr into d theta. So 0 to pi by 4, pi by 2, r to the power of 4, r into r cube. Okay, what is integral of x to the power of n into dx, and which will be equal to x to the power of n plus 1 by n plus 1. So like that, r to the r cube plus 1 by 3 plus 1, which is nothing but r to the power 4 by 4. So raising from 0 to wherever r is there, you just substitute a. So a to the power 4 by 4. And from where I got this theta, integral of d theta, because I don't have any function with respect to theta, conveniently I could able to get the integral which is equal to theta, and raising from 0 to pi by 2. So the ultimate result, so wherever theta is there, you just substitute pi by 2. So what you are going to get it as answer as pi a to the power of 4 by 8 is the answer for the given question after converting it to the polar coordinates. Now let's go for the one more question. Now solve integral 0 to 4a. Okay, integral y square to y, x square minus y square y square by x square plus y square into dx dy, and he is asking you to show this will be equal to 8a square pi by 2 minus 5 by 3. Now the region of integration he has given is at one limit he has given as y square by 4a, and another limit he has given as y. Definitely these are the limits of x values. Okay, so from here I can write this as y square is equal to 4ax and y is equal to x. Okay, so how the limits, how to guess the limits here for this question? Now it is a parabola which is having a, which is symmetric about the x-axis. Okay, a parabola which is symmetric about the x-axis. Okay, and y is equal to x is a straight line which is a proceeding far, and this can be y is equal to x, and this is nothing but y square is equal to 4ax, and this is the region of integration which he is referring here. Right, and this you have to get the point of intersection here. So we have to solve the point of intersection, and when this is nothing but 0, 0, and this is a comma 4a. How I got this 4a? Just have substituted y is equal to a z, and here I have substituted y, x is equal to y. So you substitute y. So you take common here. Y square is equal to 4ay, and y gets cancelled, so y is equal to 4a. So when this is the another, so that like that I got the new coordinates as the point of intersection of the two curves is 0, 0 to 4a. So this is how we have to give the calculation part. Now the region is bounded by the parabola y square is equal to 4ax, which is symmetric about the x-axis, and a straight line x is equal to y. Now our aim is to convert this Cartesian function to the polar function. So wherever x is there, you just substitute by x is equal to r cos theta and y is equal to r sin theta. Then dx dy is equal to r into dr d theta. Okay, so the limits are for r is equal to 0 at the origin, and for p on the parabola, and we have a. So r square sin square theta is equal to 4a into r cos theta. That implies r is equal to 4a cos theta by sin square theta. How I got it? Because according to the rule, the one limit should be taken as a variable limit, and another one should be taken as a constant limit. So on the parabola, I am taking the functional value as in this manner. Now for the line y is equal to x, the slope m is equal to 1. That is tan theta is equal to 1. Theta will be equal to pi by 4. That is theta. When theta is equal to 45 degrees, the value of the tan theta will be equal to, tan theta will be equal to 1. So the limits are taken from theta is equal to pi by 4 to pi by 4 to pi by 2. And you can see it in the region itself. You can see it in the region. From here, here this is exactly 45 degrees. So 45 degrees, the region is hailing to the angle pi by 2. So the total, the fluctuation is from pi by 4 to pi by 2. The region of integration is pi by 4 to pi by 2. So like that I have taken the theta value from pi by 4 to pi by 2. So x square minus y square, the numerator value, r square into cos square theta minus sin square theta, and x square plus y square, it's conveniently the value is r square. Substitute all the values which you have got, and therefore the integral 0 to 4a y raises from, and x raises from y square by 4 to y, x square minus y square by x square plus y square dx dy is reduced to theta is equal to pi by 4 to pi by 2. Integral of r is equal to 0 to 4a cos theta by sine square into cos square theta minus sine square theta into r into dr d theta. And for the line y is equal to x, the slope m is equal to 1, theta is equal to pi by 4. So the angle changes like this. So after converting it, just the value of r, the r dr is nothing but r square by 2. R square by 2, upper limits is 4a. Wherever r is there, you just substitute 4a cos theta by sine square theta, and wherever r is there, you have just substitute r is equal to 0. So you take common here. What I have to take common? 8a square has to be taken common. From where I got this 8a square? R square. R is nothing but 4a cos theta whole square. That is 16a square by 2. So 16 by 2, which is nothing but 8. So I got this 8. 8a square integral of cos square theta minus sin square theta into cos square theta by sin to the power of 4 theta. Multiply each and every term with here. So cos to the power of 4 theta and cos square theta into, sin square theta into cos square theta, and once you will gets cancelled here, leaving cot square theta, and cos to the power of 4 theta and minus cot to the power of 2 theta. And it can be the formula by use the reduction parts, and integral of cos to the power of n theta d theta value, and the integral of cot theta cot to the power of n theta d theta value. Using this formula, the reduction formulas, you can get the value of the integration very easily. And the value is nothing but 8a square, which is lying outside here, into 3 pi minus 8 by 12 plus pi by 4 minus 1 is equal to 8a square into pi by 2 minus 5 by 3. So this is the answer for the given question. Now, this is how we can do the problem very easily by converting it to the polar coordinates. So I'll repeat once again, whenever you're doing a problem in a polar coordinate or Cartesian coordinate, you have to first find out the j value, that is f of double integral of any function when it is reduced to dx dy. When it is reduced to some other coordinates, it is just nothing but u comma v into the Jacobian value into du dv. Just you have to find out the Jacobian value, and from whenever you convert from Cartesian to polar, the value is r dr d theta. But whenever you are converting it to Cartesian to some other coordinates, you need to find out the Jacobian value. And what is the Jacobian value? Jacobian value is nothing but the j is equal to the partial differentiation of x comma y with respect to the partial differentiation of u comma v. And these are the old coordinates and these are the new coordinates. Okay, new coordinates. So the old and new coordinates are have to be taken, and the matrix determinant have to be finded out by using this x u x v and y u y v. And this is nothing but the Jacobian value. Just very simple. If you know the Jacobian value, then the problem becomes very easy. And guessing the limits are also the another part of the question, because the function will be very simple to find out, but the guessing the limits are very not so easy. first we have to give the oral figure of the old coordinates. Then from you have to shade the region of integration, as I just have done in this problem. I have given the by looking at the limits, what y square by 4a to y. I have given the from where to where the region extend and what type of region is this. Then what I have done, I have shaded the region. But now we have to guess from where to where, to which angle the shaded part is represented. And from here theta is equal to 45 degrees, because the line which is passing from the center always have an angle of 45 degrees with the x-axis. Okay, as this is a x-axis. So that is why I have given this 45 degrees, and here up till here the region is extending, therefore I have given theta is equal to pi by 2. So looking at the previous limits, we have to give the new limits to which coordinates that you are converting. And here what I have given, the theta value raises from pi by 4 to pi by 2, and r raises and we have the r value which is raises from r is equal to 0 to 4a cos theta by sine square theta. And again, how I got this 4a cos theta by sine square? Because r square sine square theta is equal to 4a into r cos theta we have. Okay, r square sine square theta is equal to 4a into r cos theta. So that implies you cancel one r value, then you bring sine square on the left hand side, right hand side. R is equal to 4a cos theta by sine. What I'm doing, I'm writing one limit as a variable limit and another one I'm taking it as a constant limit. Theta I have taken as a constant limit and r I have taken as a variable limit. And you won't get a standard constant limits until it is some standard figure like rectangle or the given region of integration. If it is rectangle or a square or a standard figure like that, then you can get both the limit values as a constant. But when you take curves, then you don't have any constant limits. One you have to take as a constant limit and another one you have to take it as a variable limit, and that is how the problem is done. So in this way, the Cartesian problem can be done very easily by converting to polar, and also sometimes even the polar also can be converted to Cartesian, or Cartesian is converted to some other form u comma v with u comma, but prior you can convert, you can find out the limits if and only if the relationship between the u comma v, which is a new coordinate system, and the x comma y is known. Then only it is possible to find out. Otherwise, we can't get the problem. As a polar and Cartesian, these are all standard forms. We could able to guess it very easily. Suppose if x comma y is converted to u comma v, then definitely I should know the relationship between the relationship between these two should be known in order to find out the double integral in the new coordinate system, that is u comma v. So this is how the problem can be done very easily. So this changing of variables and changing the order of the coordinates are techniques of solving the double integrals. Whenever the problem becomes very complicated, we can change the order. That is, when x values are given as variable limits, you can change it to y values as variable limits, or when x is given as constant limits, you can change it to y as a constant limit. So that is order changing. That means when the question is given the Cartesian form, you're doing the problem in the Cartesian itself. But here the changing the variables, completely the field has been changed. If the question is given in the Cartesian, you're converting to some other field, that is a polar field, or some other new field, that is u comma v. So for the changing the order, there is no need to give the relationship. But when you change to some other field, you have to know the relationship between the old and the new coordinate system. And this formula is very important. This is a old system, and this is a new system in which you are converting. So the value of j has to be given. Then that and the function can using the relationship, you can guess the new function functional value, and dx dy is conveniently reduced to the du dv, and the limits of integration should be given by the limits of the new. And this is a older putting this in the pictorial way, you can guess what the limits of are. This is how the change of variables by using, double integrals can be done by using change of variables. I hope it's very clear. Thank you all.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.